From the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee for the Center Square, I'm Greg Bishop, and we're joined by an Illinois delegate for Donald Trump, former Illinois State Senator Darren Bailey. Darren, thanks for taking time with us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm sorry about the hassle of getting here. So you worked hard getting me in here, and I appreciate that.
Security tight for a reason.
Yes.
Darren, and obviously, there's what happened on Saturday with former President Donald Trump. Talk about that, your reaction, what happened when you saw that.
You know, I'm going to be honest, anger. I mean, I had several calls for interviews, and I didn't want to take them because I was very angry of what took place, and then that soon transpired into hope. I was saddened to hear the event of the loss of life, that wonderful man, father, husband that lost his life, but then you began to realize. I watched how President Trump, how he recovered from this, and I'm going to tell you what, Greg, since then, I see something significantly different in President Trump, and I think that it was a God-ordained situation to prepare him for this journey that lies before him, and I'm glad about that.
Let's talk about the political rhetoric and how that has changed. You yourself went through a pretty contentious gubernatorial race against incumbent Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker as the Republican nominee. How do you think the politics of the time are changing after that compared to what you went through in the 2022 election?
Yeah, it's very rigorous. It's gotten dirty. People like the dirt. They like the mud throwing, and it's too bad because we need integrity. The whole problem with government, period, whether it's national or statewide, is the lack of integrity. So when you go through the bashing and the rhetoric of what we see, it does no one any good. So, it was pretty dangerous words that Joe Biden spit out when he talked about being, having a target on President Trump. And I can't imagine what would have happened if that whole scenario would have been turned around. So I think it's a time for America to, we went through 9/11 and we united together, and I think this may be an opportunity with people. People have talked about how dirty and bad politics is. Many people are walking away from it. So hopefully this event serves as an opportunity, if the parties that are involved and are willing to come together, and let's get back to serving the American people and telling the truth.
When you ran for governor, the media landscape, definitely, I was right there watching, asking questions of you as well, but watching some of the other questions, pretty targeted towards you. And even recently, after what happened Saturday to President Trump, you had Senator Dick Durbin say that even the media has to check how they approach things. React to that as somebody who was a subject of stories, of questions. Do you feel that there needs to be a recalibration of sorts in how these questions are asked?
Well, the American public, the people of Illinois, the viewers, they're really in charge of that. If we're frustrated at the way a company is supporting woke ideas, then we should walk away. And so it is with some of this nonsense. People need to just, get rid of the podcast, turn the TV off on some of these news sources. We, the people, are in charge of this, and when we just ignore it and sit back and enjoy it, then it's not going to change. So again, I task every bit of the problems, the solutions to this nation, to the state of Illinois, I task that to the people. We're going to have to get educated, energized. We're going to have to roll up our sleeves. We're going to have to work, and we're going to have to vote, and then we can change this. I watched a CNBC interview last night of a Don Jr. and I mean, it was just terrible what the reporter was doing, going back to January 6th, going back to, it was nonsense. And Don Jr. called it out, and he did an amazing job. So yes, there's a lot of work to be done, but I believe that the people hold it within their power to make that change happen.
So we're here in Milwaukee, the Republican National Convention. Is this your first rodeo, so to speak?
It is. I was an alternate Trump delegate in 2020, but of course, due to COVID, there was no convention. So we were geared up and ready to go, but it didn't happen. And I'm it's an exciting time. It's a very exciting time.
Earlier today, Illinois Republicans held a breakfast. There was a lot of talk about agriculture. You're a farmer. What does Trump mean for farmers?
Trump's a businessman. Trump is common sense. Trump gets things done. So not only for agriculture, but every industry. Think about such a time as this that we come here and the Biden administration, wants in state of Illinois, is taxing, tips. And so here, people come down on this beautiful city of Milwaukee, and things like that resonate. So we've got to get things done, and things are they're stuck right now. Nothing's getting done. I have complete confidence in President Trump all the way around, and I think that I think things are going to be better than what we witnessed the first 4 years of his presidency, and especially you heard a lot about unity this morning. That's the resonating theme within the Republicans. So if we focus, if we work together, we get President Trump elected, and he doesn't have to deal with what he dealt with, the first few years of his first presidency. I think we're going to see an amazing turnaround in this country, and I think that will eventually reflect on the state of Illinois.
You had a pretty conservative platform when you ran for governor. Do you feel that the Republican national platform is being watered down on issues like abortion, for instance?
Running for governor, I am staunchly pro-life, and I told that, and I stood up for that, and I continue to do that. And I realize that it is at the state level, constitutionally, where issues like this can be dealt with. But I will admit, I was frustrated when they removed, the strong stance of abortion, when they removed that from the platform. I didn't feel like, people know it's at the state's hands, but you take that out, and then there's a certain level, of course, that you stand back and you wonder, well, what does the Republican Party stand for? We stand for less government. We stand for lower taxes. We stand for life. We stand for the family unit. And you remove that verbiage, and it creates a little bit of confusion. So I was frustrated at that, but at the end of the day, it really changes nothing.
Former State Senator Darren Bailey here from the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Greatly appreciate you taking the time with us here at the Center Square.
Thank you so much. God bless you.